Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Wednesday, the 1st of October 2025. Well done on making it this far. Hello, everyone. Sorry, my camera's a little bit wobbly today. I'll try not to touch the table. Hey, big shout out to Martin Harrow and to Diz and to Graham Haller. Also to see Dizzy Dizzle, who I met on Monday. How you doing, C? We've got Vendetta in there. Veg Pie. Hey, Veg Pie. Oh, I missed you yesterday, Veg. You would have loved it. Amano Anucci, Carol Vorderman, Carol Cadwara. It was great. Sorry you couldn't make it, Pie. And we've also got Francis Winrow in the chat. We've got Vendetta. We've got Saz. How are you all doing? We've got Alex Morgan in there as well, and Ghost Pouch. Hey, listen, if you'd like to join our friends in the chat, this is just, tight little group that we've got here where everyone is very respectful and tolerant and not at all an absolute dick. So if you'd like to join us and not be an absolute dick, all you need to do is press the subscribe button. Wait for about a minute, and then you'll be allowed to add your opinion to the chat. We are in subscribers only mode. The only way you can add your opinion is if you are a subscriber. Doesn't cost anything. Just hit the subscribe button. But if you are a troll or a bot, we will mute you and boot you, so you'll be able to watch, but you won't be able to do anything about it, like a eunuch at an orgy. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the Labour Party conference, which is finishing about midday today in Liverpool. It finishes with a rousing chorus of the Red Flag, which is the tune of "Oh Christmas Tree, Oh Christmas Tree." It's really weird because they sing this song, and it's the tune of a Christmas carol. I don't know why. And then they sing Jerusalem. So we're going to have some... I'm going to put my mic up here because I want it up here. I've decided. I made an executive decision. I want my mic there. Okay, I'll try and talk into it. Looks like I'm talking out the side of my mouth. Anyway, it finishes around midday. They sing Jam in Jerusalem. They sing the Red Flag, a Christmas Tree, a Christmas Tree. And then everyone pisses off. I might go and have a pizza with some of my Labour friends. Just before I talk about the speech yesterday and something that Starmer has said since, which I think you'll quite like, is that yesterday, obviously, I was at the conference. I went to a few talks, especially I was quite interested in there was a lot of stuff about the creative industries, a lot of stuff about EV and net zero, green infrastructure, lots of talks about that, which was good. There was a talk that I saw about hydrogen, and I was so tempted to go in and just put my hand up and go, why are you talking such bollocks? Because you know my opinion on hydrogen. You know now. Anyway, I tried to stream the bloody the speech yesterday, live stream it from the from the venue, and I really shouldn't have bothered. I'm so annoyed that I tried to get premium Wi-Fi. They have free Wi-Fi, which is shite. It just drops out all the time. And then they got premium Wi-Fi in the building, and you got to pay £10 an hour for it. So I bought 2 hours because I thought it'd wibble on for more than an hour. When you get like a code to put in, but it's not like the passcode. It's like you when you open it on your phone, it says sign in is required, and you press on that button on your phone, and it takes you a screen, and it says enter your passcode and everything. I couldn't get to that screen on my laptop. My laptop was having none of it. Thanks a lot, Windows. Useless bag of shite. So I was panicking, and I was like, this isn't working. Why isn't this not working? And then eventually I decided, well, I'll try and do it on my phone. But although I had gone out and purchased a new fucking SIM card, because my gift-gaff card never gives me any reception when I'm at the Labour Party conference, I had this Vodafone card. I thought, great, I'm going to get fantastic service because that'll be priority, whatever. No, shite. Absolute fucking dog shite. And I tried to walk as close to the Albert Dock, as far as I could get away from the conference itself, to try and get a decent signal. And I ended up sitting on a bit of concrete by the security perimeter with all police staring at me through the fence, trying to get this, the download of the speech, which was on the Times, the Times YouTube page, and kept dropping adverts at me. And then I had it running at like 144p. Do you know what I mean? It was like the shittest quality that it could be. and still wasn't good enough. It just kept dropping out. It was an absolute nightmare. Honestly, I was close to tears at one point. I was like, what the fuck? How can this be 2025 and I'm having difficulty doing this? You know, I remember back in 2009, you know, watching streaming videos using my little Vodafone dongle, sitting on the top of a fucking ship, you know, like a cargo ship. I'm like, how is the internet so bad in this country? Like, what the hell is wrong with us? Anyway, so yeah, that's something like I just don't understand. Right? Again, fucking Labour. I'm sorry, but they're so shit at certain things. They have a conference, right? Make sure everyone can have amazing Wi-Fi so they can report from the conference. Not just for your twats who work for the big companies like ITV and Sky News and Channel 4, but for the rest of us. You know, just us ordinary bods who are at the conference, who want to be able to text stuff about the conference. Labour members, give us free fucking Wi-Fi. What the fuck is wrong with you? Give us free premium Wi-Fi. Give us all 100 megabits each, okay? Guaranteed. I just can't believe like the stupidity of Labour to have a conference and go, well, we're going to make it so that only very, very rich people can actually get the message out of what's happening here and, you know, actually tell people what's happening. We want to keep it a secret. Fucking idiots. I'm sorry. But like, what the fuck? They're so shit at this. Surely someone has just said at some point in the last 4 fucking years of having shitty internet at the Echo Arena or the M&S Arena, whatever it's called these days. Surely someone said, hang on, don't we want people to be making little video clips and putting it online and getting people excited about Labour and, you know, a clip from someone doing a talk, that goes straight online and people see it and, you know, maybe we might get some, I don't know, people who want to vote Labour in the future. Wouldn't that be good? Fucking shite. Anyway, I'm going to stop whinging about the bloody tech problems because a bad streamer blames his fucking internet connection. But please feel me on this because I just think it's fucking ridiculous having a conference and making it so difficult to get a message out. Ivan's been talking a lot about the fact that it's inaccessible to anyone who can't be there in person because of a disability or because of whatever else. Why isn't there a system set up where you can pay a little bit of money and you get access to all the talks virtually? I mean, that would be good for us, right, at the actual conference, because they have talks that are like on the front. They have talks that are outside the conference venue. And you've got to walk half a mile to get to them, sometimes in the rain. It's raining this morning. Like, if it was all available, and oh my God, the app, oh my God, don't get me started. Okay, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to mention it. I am going to mention it, okay? So, normally they have a booklet which has all of the talks in. So you can flick through the booklet and find your talk. Not always accurate. I have turned up to things in the past and had to walk half a mile in the rain to get there, and then I find that they've been cancelled or moved. But generally speaking, pretty good, right? Now, could you imagine, right, for a moment, the shitness of the Labour app, right? So first of all, you can't get on it because the internet's shit. Even if you've got a brand new fucking super fast 5G phone with a 5G Vodafone SIM in it, it doesn't matter. You're still going to have shit internet. And you need the internet to access the app. It doesn't just download the information, which is just fucking text, onto your phone. No, we're not doing that. You know, we're going to do it differently. We're going to make it so you can't get on unless you got the internet, right? So you go up to the top, you stand on the roof, you dance up and down, holding your phone up like a shit Statue of Liberty, and then finally you get a fucking signal. You're like, oh great, let's see what's on. And it's a list. It's just a list that just goes on. It's like my private school mafia list. It's like this. And you're like, keyword search, keyword. Can I search by people who are talking? Can I say, oh, I want to see this particular MP? Can I type in Stella Creasy and see all of her... No search function. It's just a fucking list on your phone that you can't access unless you've got a fucking internet. Oh my God. I know I shouldn't be getting so vexed about this. I know. I should just let it go. I should be zen. I should be cool, you know. Not the cool kids. Woo. But oh my God, it fucks me off. It fucks me off so bad. We've had 30 fucking years of the internet. 30 years. 30. We've had 18 years of fucking smartphones. How are they so bad? It's like when you go to a fucking restaurant's bloody website and they have a PDF for the menu. What are you doing? No, man, just fucking... I want to type in risotto and see what you've got. Fuck me. Utter shite. Like, again, going back to the comms, they just don't know. I mean, I'm amazed that they didn't broadcast the fucking speech yesterday between two tin cans separated by a piece of string, or with semaphore, or with fucking smoke signals or something. It was like, oh God, it's 2025. Can't you just get with the fucking system, Labour? My God. Someone clip this up and send it to them. Anyway, Clippy, thank you for the £10 super chat, my friend. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you so much. Alas, I suspect the Labour Party elite are insensitive to the needs of members, never mind the real consent of the public. Either way, they treat people who want to access the conference poorly. Yeah, they treat people who are actually at the fucking conference poorly. Give us fucking internet. McDonald's has got fucking internet. You know, so people are in McDonald's and they write, I'm in McDonald's. You know, that always drove me mad. You'd stay in a posh hotel. Well, I wouldn't, but, you know, I might pick up. And like, you go, oh, can I get on the internet? And they go, no, you need a code from reception. And I'm like, what? How much is it a night? £175. And I need a code from reception for the fucking internet. Are you shitting me? Yeah. Or can go to McDonald's down the road or Starbucks and just get the free internet there, or the Greasy Spoon Cafe on the corner. Okay, cool. No watching Netflix in bed then, I guess. Anyway, right. Should we talk about the speech? Go on, let's do it. Talk about the fucking speech. Somebody's got to, I suppose. Does it have to be me? I suppose it does. Let's go. Okay, so Labour conference. The ACC, where the conference is taking place, the M&S Arena as well. It's the vibe is a little bit more. I think it's a bit better than last year, to be honest with you. Last year was like a fucking wake, man. Not even like a good wake. Not even like an Irish wake. Like a shit wake. Like a Mormon wake. No, not Mormon. Who were those people who dress up funny, like in the olden days? What are they called? The Amish. It was like an Amish wake. Like, no, everyone was like looking really dour and like, you know, that painting American Gothic. That was it, right? So this year it was a little bit better, right? But Labour are behind in the polls like you would not believe. Starmer is the most unpopular Prime Minister in the polls, right? The most unpopular Prime Minister in history, which is blowing my mind because we live on the timeline in which Liz Truss became our Prime Minister for a few days. You know, the Starmer's speech had to re-energise the base, and it had to persuade the country. And I will give him some credit. His speech was the best, yes. But I'm going to take something away now and say, well, it's a fucking low bar, isn't it, Keir? Because you're not very good at giving speeches. You sound like a fucking vicar reading a fucking shopping list. And we've got to get some cornflakes, and don't forget to get some Parma ham. They like that in the sandwiches, yes. Okay, wow, I'm fired up, mate. Whoa, I'm ready to go to war. Unleash the dogs of war. We're going to dine in hell tonight. Who's with me? Anyway, so Starmer's choice of enemy switched, because I was bitching the day before, as I often like to bitch. That's fine. You know, I can bitch if I want to. You know, about Rachel Reeves going on and on about the fucking Tories, going, the difference between a Labour government and a Tory government. That's the difference. If someone says to you there's no difference between a Labour government and a Tory government, you can say to them, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, seriously, this is it. This is your speech. We are not the Tories. Yes. Okay, well done. Well done, Rach. Fucking hell. Anyway, so at least he didn't do that. He went after Refuck, who are the real enemy, who they should be going out with. The Tories are dead. Like, the Tories are just not, at the moment, I'm sure they'll come back. They will always morph back together like the T-1000, gloop up again and just chase after you with their metal arms. But at the moment, we fuck are the enemy that Labour need to be going after. And they did. Clippy has dropped another super chat. Clippy's being very, very generous this morning. If Owen Jones was behaving like George Galloway, then I'll understand why they banned him, given he sends thugs to assault people. No excuse in this case, regardless of how you feel about Owen. I don't know what happened. I saw him. I was going to say hello, but I didn't. I thought I'd see him again. I saw him on Monday. And then on Tuesday, I saw the email saying that he wasn't allowed back. Now, I heard something about an altercation that happened with a guy who was on crutches or something, or perceived altercation. I don't know. I have no idea what happened. But in the email that so for those that don't know, Owen Jones was banned from the conference yesterday. He got an email saying he wasn't allowed to go back in. He tried to use his pass to get back in. They wouldn't let him in. And they said that it was because they felt that he was putting other people who were going to the conference, making them feel threatened or something like that. So I don't really know the ins and outs of it, but I mean, I don't mind Owen Jones being there, but I do think it smacks of a little bit of racism that they don't let Femi in. They let Owen Jones in, but they won't let Femi in. And I'm like, what's the difference? Like, I know, Femi's me mate, and Owen obviously isn't. But no, I didn't get it. I don't get why they said yes to one and not the other. Both of them make provocative videos criticising Labour. Both of them are independent journalists in their own right, who have been, published constantly in newspapers, but don't necessarily work full time for the newspapers. They're both members of the National Union of Journalists. I don't get it. I don't get it. I need to know more about it, Clippy. But, from my point of view is fucking Michael Gove. I saw Gove. I fucking shouted to him, Michael, are you lost? Couldn't believe it. Mike, what the fuck is Michael Gove doing at the Labour Party conference? And then you got the Gammon Box News motherfuckers. If you don't watch Gammon Box News, but if you see a clip, you might notice that every time I walk past, I'm like this. In the background, walking. Childish. I know, but there you go. And every time I saw Peston, I go, Peston. Like Superintendent Chalmers in The Simpsons. Skinner, Peston. Anyway, I saw Peston yesterday. Who was he with? He was sitting down and having a chat with a politician. I've forgotten which politician it was. Anyway, he was having a nice old natter. He was old Peston. I saw him. Saw Romano Annucci yesterday, which was really nice. I saw Carol V, my old Airbnb buddy, last night, and she and Carol Codwalla and Stuart Lee, who were there to launch The Nerve, which is going to be a new left-wing, progressive news bulletin that's going to go out online, and I have offered my services to be a producer on their YouTube channel. I'll do it for free. I'll just get it started. Just I said, look, make it for nothing, make it for absolutely nothing. Just do a Zoom video, StreamYard, whatever, and we'll just stream it, and it'll just be a conversation between, if Stuart Lee was doing a conversation with Carol Vorderman, you'd fucking watch it. I'd watch that. Or he's having a conversation. He's a funny fucker. Or he's having a conversation with Terry Christian. Well, you don't really have a conversation with Terry Christian. Terry Christian just talks, and you nod. God, I thought I could talk. Bloody hell. Bloody hell, Tessa. Anyway, so back to the speech. They reframed it as Farage as the main opponent. So Starmer's chosen an enemy, a new enemy. The Tories were barely mentioned in the speech. Farage was very much the villain of the piece, with Starmer saying he doesn't like Britain, he doesn't believe in Britain, which is true. And And he mentioned the Tories. He said the Tories remember them, and everyone laughed because this is the new strategy, I guess, from Labour, which I guess they came up with yesterday morning because they didn't come up with it before Rachel Reeves' speech. But the Conservatives are no longer the threat. Refuck are quite clearly, and by naming Farage, Starmer unfortunately legitimises him. He gives Farage the oxygen he thrives on. However. Given that risk, like Farage gets enough fucking coverage as it is, and it's one of those things where I think about this. Like, if I do a video where I just sit here for an hour and slag off Farage, I know that I'll get more viewers. I know I'll get more probably likes, and I'll probably get more super chats. But I don't like the fact that I'm saying his fucking name. I feel like I'm doing his publicity for him, and no publicity is bad publicity, and all that bullshit. But at the same time, I'm like, well, someone's got to say he's a cunt. A country member, a member of the country club. Anyway, fuck, I just demonetised the channel. Jesus Christ, Graham, you potty mouth. Anyway, so the other thing was Starmer did his hard truths on migration stuff. So he invoked a woman who complained about Eastern Europeans on her street, feeling forced to say, I'm not racist, before voicing her concerns, which a lot of people do, because, apart from out and out Nazis, most people think racism is a bad thing. And you shouldn't be racist. I put some vanilla flavouring in my coffee. It's fucking horrible. I'm not doing that again. I'll just go without instead. Well said, Graham. Thank you very much. Well written, Plum Duff. So yeah, we'll make decisions that you won't like, says Keir Starmer to his own party. And this is code for a tougher immigration stance. It's designed to woo reform curious voters, if you want to call them that. And I'm feeling quite queasy about this, to be honest with you. I mean, he's risking alienating the progressive wing without actually winning over many of Farage's hardline supporters, who he's not going to get back. The other one, which I thought was really interesting, which I actually heard at the time, sort of, because there was a bit of a delay with my stream, but about ditching Tony Blair's 50% university target, which was achieved about 10 years ago. And, this is something that is a bit close to my heart, because my partner worked on this when she worked for the civil service, when she worked for the government, and in higher education with David Lammy. And, back in the 2000s. And, so she's changed it now to say they want 2/3 to go to university or apprenticeships, which is quite a clever way of framing it, right? He said something like gold-plated apprenticeships or gold standard apprenticeships, which I appreciate. I think that is a really, really good idea. For the swear box, thank you very much to Colin there for the box, for the super chat, my friends, and I throw that in the swear box for dropping the C-bomb there, which I probably won't get away with, unfortunately. The apprenticeship pitch, he framed this, he talked about his dad, made a joke about the whole thing. I think what my dad did as a job now. But FE colleges are ignored because politicians' kids don't go there, he said. The problem is this is sort of a vague policy at the moment. No funding pledges, no delivery plan. And it might be another slogan without, actual something to back it up. But, given Starmer's track record, I would say he's quite a cautious motherfucker, isn't he? So I don't think he's just going to come out with something like that without having some sort of backup behind it. But I really like this idea. I really do. Like, honestly, if I had the choice between doing an apprenticeship and going to uni in that way back in 1997, I might have chosen the apprenticeship. I only went to uni because I fancied a girl in school, and then she was going to Manchester, and I wanted to go to Manchester with her. That was it. She was my girlfriend. It wasn't just like some creepy thing where I just hung around outside the fucking dorm each night, rubbing my legs, going, "Why aren't you with me?" No, she was actually my girlfriend. But it's a cherchez la femme. Otherwise, I would have dropped out. I don't think I would have gone to university. I didn't really have the predicted grades to go to university, and it was only after I did my A levels and did quite well because I was trying to impress a girl that I decided on the day of clearing to go to university. I think having an apprenticeship, having these, being able to learn these skills and do all this stuff would be absolutely brilliant for a lot of people who academia. It's great for some people. Some people it's fucking shite. It's like fucking torture. It's like fucking Chinese water torture. Why would you do that to someone? Why? Why would you put someone who's not very good at spelling and punctuation and shit, but like absolutely brilliant at mechanics, like can strip a bike down to its component parts in the morning and put it back together in the afternoon? Why would you make them learn Shakespeare? Why would you make them study the fucking classics? Euclid and then fucking mathematics. Why would you make them do that? Anyway, Clippy, thank you for the £10 super chat. Clippy is being very generous. I take back everything I said about Clippy when Clippy first emerged in Windows 98, was it? Thank you very much to Clippy. Reeves' speech was the best one, heartfelt and more concrete, but still lacking ambition to stop refuck. Starmer's was a lot more hollow and empty, in my humble opinion. We need a lot more ambition. I totally agree with needing more ambition. I didn't think that Rachel Reeves' speech was that great. I really didn't. I wasn't very impressed with it. It just seemed a big nothing burger to me. And the only takeaway that I sort of recalled immediately afterwards was the one about what was it? The libraries in the schools, which was like, okay, great. I didn't really see how that's like a priority thing that should be announced by the Chancellor of the Exchequer. Maybe by the Education Secretary, Bridget Phillipson. Is it Bridget Phillipson? She I saw her last night as well. It's bloody turf. Bridget. She's the one running around. No, she's the Minister for Women and Equalities. Anyway, she's running to be deputy leader of the Labour Party. That's not the same as deputy PM, which is now David Lammy. But the deputy leader has a bit of say, has a bit of sway. And I don't want it to be Bridget Phillipson because I think she's a big turf. A big twatty turf. Germ. Exclusionary, radical, misogynist. Regressive misogynist. Okay, alright, so, moving on. Actions speak louder than words, says Peter. You're right. So yeah, next one was like the sort of thing about the flag wave and the flag moment. The stage was flooded with Union Jacks, and they gave little Union Jack flags out to everyone who was in the front of the seats, so they could all wave them when they were told to. Maybe they had like they have it on when you go see a live recording of a TV show and they have like a thing that says applause, like the light comes up, it says applause. Maybe it was a bit like that. It said flags, wave the fucking flags. Yeah, this is Labour trying to neutralise one of its greatest weaknesses, that it is seen as being unpatriotic. But it might have looked a little bit managed and superficial, but I understood why they did it, and I don't care. Like, honestly, I understand why they did it. And again, like, it's like fawning over fucking Trump. It's not something that I would like to have to do, but I understand why they have to do it. It's all very well for us to say, we should tell Trump to fuck off. And I'm like, yeah. And then our economy goes down. And when our economy goes down, it's not the rich that suffer, because the rich can fuck off to another country. It's the people at the bottom of the rung who suffer and go into not just falling into abject poverty and debt, but also mental health problems, and suicidal ideation goes up whenever you have an economic downturn, especially amongst the lower earners of society, which I don't want to see. So I wouldn't want the job of sucking up to Trump, because he's a fucking disgusting shitbag, scumbag. I'd much rather do something else to him, which probably I can't say on here because I'll probably get demonetized forever. But it would involve digging a hole, making him dig a hole. Anyway, so yeah, and it wouldn't be for a fish pond. The sort of the elephant in the room, wasn't it? Was the budget. And this is the same with Reeves's speech. And both speeches were very light on any kind of detail. And they could argue that, well, you're supposed to present this first to Parliament before you say, but you can give a little bit more info than was given. So Starmer said he did tough decisions. I've got a little thing that flashes up on the screen that says tough decisions. He says it so many times. Tough decisions are on the way, but he dodged the 20-30 billion black hole sort of question, and he said there's going to be no wealth tax, no big borrowing, and I don't know, like. I understand that we are, all here watching this want to tax the rich, like fuck them, tax until the pipsqueak. I get that. And to be fair to Labour, taxing, putting VAT on private school fees, putting VAT on private healthcare, that's only going to affect the rich. That's only going to affect the rich. But I'm talking to some random guy at Manchester Airport who doesn't look like he's got like 2 bob between him, and he's complaining about inheritance tax, and I'm just like, you're not going to have to pay it, mate. Don't worry. I'm giving tax advice to a random bloke waiting at the carousel, the luggage carousel at the airport. You won't have to pay it. Well, first of all, you'll be dead. But secondly, your kids won't have to pay it because you get £1 million tax free, and you only pay the tax after the first £1 million. And that is a wealth tax. That is a wealth tax. That is going after wealthy people. And I think, okay, cool, do it. That's why wealthy people don't like it. All the people whinging the most about wealth tax are the people whose children are going to have to fucking pay it because they're multi-millionaires. And they're like, no, I like my money. I want to keep my money. It's very important. Everyone keeps their money. But this is money that you haven't worked for, you haven't earned. And if we're going to go down that route, I like Lewis Goodall, but he did rob my line about 100% inheritance tax, which I have been saying for years to say, well, if we want to have a fair and equal society, 100% inheritance tax. That's it. From the get-go. No one can inherit anything. There you go. Let's see how many people pulled themselves up by the bootstraps after we do that, eh? How many Nepo babies we get left, okay? But then it would make it so that there'll be a massive wealth transfer from the elderly to the rest of society, because at the moment the boomers hoard 85%, I think, of the nation's wealth is hoarded by the boomers, not all boomers. But yeah, and that's not great. Money needs to move around in a system in order to make more money for the system. It's why austerity didn't work, will never work. It's why our economy hasn't grown since 2007. It's because of this shit. Our economy, let's just go back to that for one moment. Just imagine this, right? The first 10 years of the last Labour government, our economy went from $1.5 trillion to $3 trillion in 10 years. And now, GDP, still $3 trillion. All these years later. 18 years, nearly 2 decades later. GDP, UK, 2024. It's gone up. It's gone up to 3.6 trillion. Oh my God, that's a Labour effect then, isn't it? But there you go. It's finally going up again. It's finally going up. So in 2022, it was 3.1 trillion. In 2023, it was 3.3 trillion. And last year, it was 3.6 trillion. So it's actually going up now for the first time since 2007, when it was 3.1 trillion. Can you believe that? It was 3.1 trillion in 2007. I'm just looking it up on Google here. And then in 2014, it was creeping back up. It got to 3.06, right? So it was nearly back up to 3.1. And then it went down. It went down loads because of Brexit. And then it went down because of COVID. And now it's finally going up again. I mean, fastest growing economy in the G7. Labour can say that now. But I hope that continues. I hope that trend continues. I know GDP is a terrible way of monitoring, measuring anything. Ivan. Hello, Ivan. Thank you. VAT on private healthcare would not only affect the rich, it would affect people like me who have to go private for mental health treatment. Very good points, Ivan. Well made. You're right. And that's one of the reasons why they need to tackle the fact that we're having to so many people are having to use private healthcare because the healthcare available on the NHS is just not there. It just doesn't exist. So I guess I've not looked into it too much about the nitty gritty, but I would assume that it would be, or this is the way I would do it anyway. If the equivalent is available on the NHS and you choose to go private, and you could just go for the NHS, but then put VAT on it. But if like in your case, you can't get the mental health support that you deserve from the NHS and you're forced to go private, then you get dispensation. I wish you hadn't. In a perfect world, you wouldn't have to go private at all. It would all be on the NHS, which, as it should be. But the Labour are. I feel like they should be prioritising mental health in this country. I think it's a huge issue that needs to be grappled with. And unfortunately, at the moment, we're not seeing as much movement as I would like. They're talking about mental health in young people, but at the same time, they're adversely hurting the mental health of trans kids who can't get puberty blockers now and are being forced into this new Clause 28 2.0, where the Don't Say Trans policy. That's going to be adopted across schools in Britain, where people who are trans aren't going to be able to just express themselves in the way that they would like to. They're not going to be able to use the toilets that they feel comfortable in using, the one that won't get them beaten up. I just like, J.K. Rowling sitting there going, no, they have to use the toilets in which they'll get beaten up. Fucking. Did you hear about her and Emma Watson? Did you see that? Did you see that Emma Watson was on a podcast? And she said, well, our views differ, but I still cherish the time that, we had together. And, she said something like, I still, love her as a person, but I just, can't agree with her politics, something like that. Putting out the olive branch. Never give the fash an inch. Never give them an inch. Never give them succor. Do not give them a drop of fucking water from your bowel. Don't give them anything, because they will take it and they will throw it back at you, like what J.K. Rowling did. She said, when everyone was being mean to me, all she did was it's very rich of her to say this now, but actually, and I'm like, this is why don't reach across the aisle with the fash, because they are not your friends. They are too far gone down the fascist pipeline. Clippy is being incredibly generous this morning. Thank you very much for the £10 super chat. Labour is painfully becoming more culturally conservative and economically interventionist. While the latter sounds better, it's not worth the social regression, especially given how lacklustre it is. ... Yeah, I've got to say, I think you are absolutely right. I think you're absolutely on the money there, which is good. And I'm going back on what I said about literally until last year, I could probably get away with saying the GDP has not increased at all since 2007. It's finally started to increase now that we've got a Labour government. Funny that, isn't it? Almost as if the Tories were stealing all our money and making it so all their mates got really rich at a time when the rest of us didn't. And now we have a generation, the millennials, who are poorer than their parents' generation. The boomers. Because, it skips a generation. It's not necessarily that the boomers are the parents of the Gen Xers. They might be, but, it's more like the parents of us lot, the millennials. And yes, I regard myself as a millennial. Shut up. Millennial prime. Not on the property ladder. Don't own a car. Never had a proper job. How millennial do you want me to be? I was there. Star Wars Episode 1, mate. Star Wars Episode 1. And it was shit. Okay, right. So, moving on. Yeah, we're talking about Starmer's speech, weren't we? So, this is about. I was going to start talking about the Farage boat. So he said this morning, right? Well, maybe it was last night. Maybe it was this morning. He told Radio 4 that he would rethink how the ECHR is interpreted by British laws to make deportations easier. Singling out Articles 3, which is the ban on torture, and 8, which is family life. Now, that makes me feel really, really uncomfortable that the Labour government would even consider sending people back to a country where they might get tortured. I think that's the whole point of, surely they're a refugee then. Like, that's the whole point of being a refugee, is trying to move away from somewhere that a country or a place that means you harm, and going somewhere where, you're okay, where you're not going to. So that's a bit of a worry. But Masterstroke calling it the Farage boat. And I'll probably give credit to Tom Brooks, who I know has been whispering in certain people's ears about this. Call them the Farage boats, because there weren't any boats before Brexit. He made those boats come. And we've been saying this for years on this channel. I think the first time Tom Brooks brought up the fact that Professor Tom Brooks of Durham University, the first time he brought up the fact that there were no boats, no small boats at all in 2016. There was like 2 in 2017, and then it just exploded after that because we left the Dublin Agreement and we couldn't send people back. We couldn't send people back to across to France anymore, so loads more people started coming on boats. They are Farage boats. That's what they should be called. Stop the Farage boats. Stop the Farage. Stop the fascists. But Starmer has actually directly, for the first time today, blamed Brexit for the surge of small boat crossings, and saying these are Farage boats. Pre-Brexit, the Dublin Agreement, or the Dublin Regulation, allowed returns to EU countries, and Farage said leaving wouldn't matter, and he was wrong. He was very, very wrong. And this is a bit of a narrative shift here, because what Starmer's doing is defending membership of the European Court of Human Rights, or the European Convention of Human Rights, but he's hinting at watering down the protections to make deportations easier. And this is a fucking tightrope that he's walking on. He wants to keep Britain in Europe legally while sounding tough on migration. And the danger here is it looks like Labour's dancing to Refux's tune. Once again, Starmer he's risking validating Farage's framing of migration as a defining national issue, and something that has to be fought against, and something that needs to be done about. And I don't want things to be done about migration. I want people to stop having to come over here on boats. So I want a processing centre in Calais. I'd say they're still blue in my face, and a returns agreement with France. But other than that, I want people to celebrate migration. Migration's fucking awesome. Do you know what? And forget about all the stuff that migrants have done, right, for this country. They've basically built the fucking place, right? Let's just talk about how good looking they are, right? Seriously, right? If it was down to us lot, right, and white people in a village, right, and we're all fucking each other's sisters, right, and we end up with these, the master race, they all look like a bunch of fucking mingers, mate. All the countries that I've been to around the world, the least amount of mixing of different people from other places, they're the ones at the mingiest mingers. I've got to say, I'm sorry, but I don't believe in the Aryan fucking pure blood bullshit. It's just you end up with a bunch of people who've got a fist for a face. Just saying, the nature, beauty just loves diversity, and the more diverse humans are and can be, then the better looking they get. I know that's really shallow and superficial, but and then, just saying that there's a lot of good people. There's a lot of good-looking people in America, and they're just full of migrants. I'm not going to name countries where there's no migrants and the people do look like they've been smashed in the face with a particularly angry frying pan. But I mean, I'm just saying, bit of diversity in the whole sexual selection thing. I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. Okay, just saying. It's just stigmatized, isn't it? Oh, you can't marry someone who looks a bit different to you. Well, that was the whole point. You can't marry someone who's a different religion. I was like, oh, for God's sake, why? Why does it matter? Why does it matter anymore? It's 25. Jesus, get off your high horse. Paula, thank you very much for your £5 super chat contribution. Labour are going so hard after social conservatives. They are in danger of making it impossible for those of us who voted for them all through the bullshit. Yeah, I know. I know, Paula. It's making it difficult for me. I really feel uncomfortable with this. I wouldn't be doing this whole, well, they do have a point, valid concerns. Fuck valid concerns. Make the positive case for immigration. The Greens do this. The SNP do this. You can fucking do it. It's not hard. It's not fucking hard. Anyway, so moving on. And also, just to go back to the boats thing, it looks like it looks like Reform are setting the agenda. That's my worry on that. I think Labour should be setting the agenda, but then, as we talked about on Monday, me and Phil, they need to be doing daily press conferences to set the fucking agenda, but they won't listen to us, so what can you do? So, the consensus, looking at some of the analyses of Starmer's speech, is that this was the most forceful and effective conference speech, but it should have been delivered a year ago, not after a year of sort of drift and failure. This should have been the speech in 2024, and conference, speeches no longer move public opinion. They're just for the party faithful, really, and politics today is won through viral moments, for getting on fucking social media, for getting people talking about you. And Starmer still hasn't grasped that. Labour still haven't grasped that. And, talking to people after the event the other day, Like, you know. Anyway, so where am I? Oh. I don't want a Labour Party that is being defined by Farage. And I think that Labour needs to, first of all, set the agenda. Go after Farage in an aggressive way. And don't necessarily fight him on his territory. And just, I do like the fact that he called them Farage boats. I hope that catches on. I really do. And blame him for the fact that the boats exist. I was getting a taxi into town yesterday, and I was saying to the driver, those boats wouldn't be happening if it hadn't been for Nigel Farage. And I explained why, and he went, oh, right, okay. He didn't know. He's not really into politics. And I said, look, we didn't have any coming out. Do you remember reading about it in the newspapers back 10 years ago? He went, no, never heard anything about it. I went, yeah, because we could send them back. And then Farage said, let's leave the EU. And the taxi driver said, I didn't vote in the Brexit referendum because he said I didn't feel like I knew enough about it. And I was like, I'm with you, mate. Like, I've got a degree in politics and I didn't feel like I knew enough about it to make an informed decision. I'm not a politician. I think it was a ridiculous question to ask people on the street who knew nothing about it. I didn't know much about the EU at the time. I didn't really give a shit. It was something that just trundled along in the background. It'd be like asking me about the, Whitehall, where all the civil servants live. I don't know. I don't know what they fucking do. I don't care. It's a thing that happens. Giving me the opportunity to vote on, I don't know, Sainsbury's logistical operation. I'm like, why would you do this? I don't know anything about fucking Sainsbury's logistics. Why are you asking me? But yeah, so I really felt for the taxi. He said to me, do you reckon we can get back in? And I went, not for a while. Sorry, Nick. And not for a while, because we need to get public opinion on board. But the latest polls for Brexit, only 11% of people polled have said that Brexit's gone well. 11%. That is phenomenal. Like, told you it was going to be a disaster. We told you so! There's word to feel very hollow at the moment. So yeah, the mood over there, after the speech and everything, I'd say it was the amongst the sort of activists and stuff, there was a palpable sense of relief that the speech went down well, and but there was also an element of nervousness of people using the term, too little. It could be too little, too late. And I think this was Starmer's best speech. But like I said at the start of the show, it's a low bar. He's not a very good public speaker. He does sound like a vicar reading out a shopping list. And so it was good, but it wasn't transformative. And it was a solid, what they'll call it, inside the hall success. But I don't really think it's going to cut through to the wider public. Britain is still facing a lot of challenges right now. Not least the fact that the fash are creeping in to possible positions of power. They're already taken over. The fash have taken over Durham City Council, and they're running the place into the ground because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. The leader of Durham City Council, Andrew husband, went to his last business went under, owing the tax man and his fucking creditors £1 million fucking pounds. These are not clever people. These are not intelligent fucking based people, and they don't know anything. They put a posh private school woman in charge of education for the local authority. I'm like, what the fuck, really? Why? You don't have any polo class? No one plays polo? Oh my god! What's going on here? Give them some cake. Jesus Christ! But yeah, so we've got this encroaching fascism. And we need Labour to get their shit together. We need Labour to just start doing the shit we need Labour to do in order to actively make things better for people. And while they do that, they need to shout it from the fucking hilltop, the rooftops, the hilltops, the fucking tops. Anyway. Okay, so I've got 8 minutes left. I'm going to quickly do, well, a little bit more. I was a bit late to getting started, wasn't I? I'll quickly do the papers, and then I'm heading back off to the conference for the last hour of the conference. So I will, hopefully this will work. Hopefully this will work. If it doesn't, I'm very sorry. Okay, cool. So, I've just got to sort out the text there. Look at the text is coming out the top. I don't like that. That's upsetting me. That's because I changed it yesterday when I was doing that live stream. So I'm just gonna hide that behind the morning brew. There we go. Nice. And then I have to make the morning brew a little bit smaller, I guess. I have to make that smaller to accommodate for the fact that it's got to be the same on both sides. Yeah. Okay. Good. All done. Sorted. Right. Farage does not believe in Britain, says Starmer. Going back to his speech today, and the Times is absolutely right on that, even though it's a Murdoch rag. Babies could be born without mothers after egg cell breakthrough. So this is an egg that's been created from a skin cell. Are we gonna clone Napoleon? Are we gonna clone Jesus? Are we gonna clone Genghis Khan? Are we going to bring back Hitler? Who fucking knows? Okay, so decency or division. Britain faces an era-defining choice, says PM. 2-child benefit cap to be lifted in autumn budget. There you go. That's it in the Guardian there. So the Rachel Reeves is set to lift the 2-child benefit cap in the budget, which is fantastic news and something that everyone should be happy about, no matter how we currently feel about Labour. And then the Daily Mail. Who's the nasty party now? Oh, fuck off. The Daily Mail, the nastiest fucking newspaper that's ever nastied. The day Labour dragged politics into the gutter. Desperate Starmer accuses Nigel Farage of not liking Britain. Yeah, that's true. Then Lammy claims Refuck has flirted with Hitler Youth before being forced to apologise. No, he's right. He shouldn't have apologised because he's fucking right. Never do a fella for being right. Farage responds by accusing PM of inciting the radical left. What radical left? There is no radical left. Where are they? What are they doing? What are these radical left people do? Where are they? What are they doing? Plotting a fucking protest? Is that what they're doing? Oh no! Shit! Are they stealing money from every man, woman and child in the country? No! That's what Farage and his mates are doing for the fucking carbonaceous slime companies, eh? The foreign fucking oil companies. That's what they're fucking doing. Bastards. Anyway, Keir Snakes and Leaders. Things can only get better. See what they've done there. PM, Keir Starmer has hit out at Nigel Farage and Andy Burnham. Ooh. He said, we have to call these snake oil merchants on the right and on the left. Well, I don't think he was talking directly about Andy Burnham there. I could be wrong. Whatever. I love the way the newspapers are trying to make out like there's some big fight going on between Andy Burnham and the Prime Minister. I really don't think there is. I think this is overblown. I really do. You know, I think there's probably been some beef between them because they're both very different characters, but both quite driven. Come on. Anyway, I can clean up the almighty mess as PM, says Kemi Badnoch. So this is the Daily Mail reporting on the Labour Party conference, obviously. Kemi Badnoch says that only the Tories can take the tough decisions, and attacks dangerous Labour and warns Nigel Farage would blow up the economy. What, like the Tories did? What like your predecessor Liz Truss did? Okay. And then we've got a picture of some guy with his grandmother who's not with us anymore. That's sad. And then in the mirror, another picture of the same guy saying he misses his grandmother. Oh, that's sad. You know, you got to have a picture of him on the front cover because, you know, having a whole slew of newspapers about just random pictures of that family from down the road is just kind of weird, isn't it? Starmer takes on Farage. PM's fight for all that makes nation great. As he says, reform leader does not believe in Britain. Pride over prejudice. And obviously Mirror is very much a Labour paper. I won't surrender our flag, says the Daily Telegraph, as a quote from the speech yesterday. Babies can be born without the need for a biological mother. Which is the news story there, which is kind of crazy, but there you go, that's signs for you. And then we've got 2-child benefit cap will be lifted in Reeves' budget, which no one can really argue against now. And then we've got PM Snake Oil Farage wants Britain to fail, which is completely true. And then we've got Zendaya there being perfect, which she is. She's awesome, and I won't have a word said against her. Okay, we've got the Financial Times over here. Starmer musters flag-waving Labour for patriotic battle against Refuck. And then we've got Trump and Hegseth tell fat generals to use invaded cities as training grounds, which is this big fuck-off meeting they had, and they got all the people from the... subscribe. Everyone should subscribe. They got all the different generals from all around the world, so they were serving overseas, and they all came to... Virginia or somewhere, I forgot where they met up, and Trump gave a speech about how they needed to be loyal to him and how they should use the streets of America, the civilians of America as a testing ground to see how effective their weapons are to kill Americans, because there's no war like the war at home. The first jihad starts in your soul, man. It starts in your soul. Well, no, San Francisco, that's where it starts. Just fucking kill those hippies, said Trump. Anyway, so and then today, by the way, at 5 o'clock this morning, I think, the government shut down in America, so there's no government of America right now, which is cool. And there's a deadlock. There is a deadlock, and loads of people are going to lose their jobs. It's kind of miserable, but we could invite them over here. Maybe we could invite them over here. Maybe that'll be fun. I think we should invite them over here. And then finally, if I go, if I actually show you the papers, that probably would help, wouldn't it? Starmer will never surrender Britain to enemy Farage. So there you go. And Sam Kelly there, don't be fooled, Trump's Gaza peace plan is a colonial contract on the Palestinians. I think that Sam is completely correct there. It's a bollocks. Right. Do you know what's not bollocks? You're fucking awesome. Thank you very much for joining me this morning here on Politics Social. And as I said, I'm in Liverpool at the moment. I'll be heading back to Durham tonight. Is that a river in Egypt? Says Sid. Deny. I once stayed on a little island in the middle of the Nile, near Lord Kitchener's Island down in Aswan. There's a bunch of islands, and we stayed on one for the night on a felucca. And we were on the felucca, and we got off the felucca, and I think we slept under a bivouac or something. But we had a bit of a fight about that because some of us wanted to have a tent instead, and I managed to get a tent. It was quite intense, but as people said, I was in denial. Anyway, moving on. Chat with Chris Bryant about comms and LGBTG. We've got LBGT. That's not the right way round, Andrew Ray. It's LGB, not LBG. You're messing me up there, mate. Don't forget the B though. LGBTQIA plus. Yes, I know. That'll be good. Comms. I talked to Darren Jones about it. I had a good 10-minute conversation with Darren Jones about the comms, and he was like, "Yeah, I know the shit." I'm like, "Come on, let's do something about it." I said, "Look, Johnny Reynolds, he'll vouch for me. He'll vouch, I'm a twat." I think I actually said those words. But we could do something. We could really do something. We could do something exciting that will get people interested in, Labour and being able to have that two-way conversation, which we can't have at the moment. It just seems like a big monolith that we're, shouting at. Stop being knobheads. It'd be nice to have a bit of a two-way chat. Because you tell me to stop being a knobhead, then I'll get your message straight away. Especially if you drop a super chat to say stop being a knobhead. Then I'll go, okay, yeah. Thanks. Good point. I'll stop being a knobhead now. Andrew Ray says, have you seen Chris Bryant at conference? Surely he would take up the sword regarding comms, internet, newspaper ownership, and LGBTQ issues. If you spoke to him, there must be one MP. Yeah, Chris, I haven't seen Chris. No, I did. But he was in a section that I couldn't get into because it was a premium lounge or something like in an airport. He was in the premium lounge, and I was just outside, sort of pouring at the glass. So yeah, like a weirdo. Hello, Chris. Hello. I want to talk to you about comms, Chris. But yeah, one of the things that drives me a bit up the wall with conferences, I have things to say, and I'm quite. I know that I'm garrulous. I know that I talk a lot, right? But if I want to just get me points across in about 10 seconds, I can. I can formulate my words in such a way that I've got 10 seconds. Here's me elevator pitch, and I'm quite good at doing that. And so all I need to do is see someone that I recognise and go, oh, can I just talk to you about the comms of Labour and doing something about it? But there's always someone who wants to bend the ear of the MP about their fucking turnips or something, and they're standing there going, when I was a young lad, the turnips were like this, but now turnips are like that, and he's standing there waiting to talk about something that you think is dead important, and there's someone talking, slow talkers. I mean, look, we can't always be fucking motor mouths like myself, but I mean, slow. When you're in a hurry and people are taking ages to say the words, and you're like this. Can you, and then the MP's like, okay, right, thanks very much. I've got to go now. I've got things to go to. And you're like, I missed my opportunity because of this guy talking slowly about turnips. But you can't say anything. You got to be polite. I can just share that with you. Although I am going to have words about the Wi-Fi. I think that is just absolutely ridiculous. Give everyone at conference. They've already paid £110 to be there. Give them free Wi-Fi. That is dead fast, so they can tweet about it and, you know, see what's going on in other. Because if you could stay in the conference hall, but then you could watch a video from elsewhere in the conference without having to actually attend it, and that makes sense for not having overcrowded rooms. There are times when there's too many people who want to watch a particular talk and they can't get in, so you miss the talk. That's it. There are so many obstacles that could be overcome with a few mobile phones, streaming constantly, and you know, an app that fucking works and decent internet. Next time, Labour. Okay, right. So I'm going to try and tell some people at Labour that that's what I want. It's like that. And it is what I want. In the video for It's Like That by Run DMC, right? I think the men win. The women act like they win. It's a dance-off competition. It's really good. It's breakdancing in. But the women act like they won the breakdancing thing. And I don't want to come across all misogynistic. But I do feel like watching the video. And we'll have to watch it again. I know it came out 25 years ago, whatever. But I still think it's it's relevant to what's happening in the world today. The women's side, they acted like they won, which reminded me a bit like Labour in 2017 and 2019. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you didn't win. Anyway, the crap conference Wi-Fi was an ironic metaphor for their comms. Yes, Nick, absolutely. 100%. So I'm going to give Nick the last word for today. So thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to head off home now. I will be back tomorrow. We're going. The lovely Rachel will be joining me for another episode of not the intersection, the rabbit hole, because we don't want to talk about politics. It's about something else. Hopefully pretty soon. We won't be able to do it tonight because I'll be traveling. But maybe we might do it tomorrow night actually, if she's up for it. But we will see. We will see. Lots of love coming in for Rachel. People asking at the talk that we were doing when she was going to come back on. So we'll absolutely have to do that. And I'm also hoping to get Super Tansky on soon, and Marina Perkis on, and also possibly Carol Vorderman, which would be fucking excellent to get on the Politics Social channel. So watch this space. So it's the 1st of October today. Obviously, September's been a bit mad on this channel. I've been traveling. I've been to Toronto. I've been to Costa Rica. I've been to Panama. I'm back. I've been to the Labour Party conference. Tomorrow, big reset, back to normal for Politics Social, and I hope you can join us at all the normal times and all the normal shows. And I'm looking forward very much to the Friday night social on Friday, which will be the first proper one we've done for a couple of weeks. And yeah, I hope to see you there. And until I see you again, whether it is tomorrow morning or whether it is on Friday, I'll say thank you so much for watching. Thanks for the super chats. Give us a like on the way out, and hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.